This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised as some cases contain graphic content. We mean no disrespect to anyone we discuss in this podcast except our exes. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. However, we will be expressing our personal opinions. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Hey everybody, it's Cynthia.
And I'm Wes, and this is Love and Luminol, a true crime podcast.
Ooh, and Penny. She's helping.
Hiding. Oh, she's down.
She's like, nope. There's an open flame on the table.
She almost caught her tail on fire.
She did. I was scared for a whole second. Then I thought that
Just
might
for
be
a second.
entertaining. Yeah.
Just for a second.
No, she figured out pretty quickly it's hot. All right, so today we're going to discuss Paul Fitzgerald.
Don't know that one.
Don't know that one?
Nope.
Oh. Well, you'll learn today.
I guess so.
All right, let's get into it.
Here we go.
So no knowledge, Paul Fitzgerald, nothing?
Not that I know of.
We are not in the U.S. today. I don't know wherever Wales is.
It'd be the UK.
Oh, some cultural experience today.
Mm-hmm. Jolly good fun.
Jolly good fun. All right. Is that Harry Potter?
No, it's not Harry Potter.
That's Harry Potter?
No, it's just British.
Harry Potter British? It sounds
He
like
just happens to be British too, but not all British people are Harry Potter.
Okay, sorry for that assumption. He's like, how dare you? All right, well, we're going to October 13th of 2019.
Okay.
Fairly recent.
Yeah.
4 years ago
not too long.
almost. Yep. And we're going to start with Paul Fitzgerald, who was 30.
30.
Yep, and there's a picture of him right there.
Okay.
Don't look 30. Looks
No, he
young.
looks like he's in his 20s.
Yeah.
25. 20,
He does.
25, 26.
Must be nice.
Somewhere around there. I mean, I know what it's like, so.
Oh, yeah. Look at,
Just look at this. Look
Holding
at this
30
face.
over there. Smolder.
No.
Really, no. But he was a little criminal, he was.
Hey, you just said he was after it.
Yeah.
Like you're British.
Oh, did I?
But you just didn't have the accent with it.
He's
He was a little criminal, he was.
I didn't even notice. Anyway. I subconsciously added some culture in there.
You just put he was after it. That's great.
He's a little criminal, he was. But his first crime was at the age of 12.
He was a wee lad.
Oh, yeah.
He was.
And that's when he sexually assaulted a 4-year-old boy.
Holy shit.
At 12. We have a
Wow.
12-year-old.
That's-
Yeah, if you think of that, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
So 12, he started young with his mishaps there. And he was arrested for it at 13 and started receiving threats from loyalist paramilitaries. Whatever those are.
That's weird.
Loyalist paramilitaries.
Oh no. Like
UK thing?
it must be the UK version of militia.
Must be.
It's the only thing I can think of.
They were threatening his life.
Wow.
So social services moved him to Wales and gave him his current identity, which is Paul Fitzgerald. So I don't think Paul Fitzgerald is his birth name.
Oh.
They changed his identity for his safety.
Well, might as well tell now, because,
I know.
I mean, we've seen his face. We know he's a criminal. Like, we know his crime. I
know
don't
his
get,
new identity.
I don't get why we're hiding this.
I don't know, unless Paul is his name. I don't know. It just said gave him his current identity. Maybe they're hiding his current identity. Maybe Paul Fitzgerald is his name, and they didn't tell you his new identity.
That could be.
Possible. Very possible. But he offended again 2 years later in 2006 when he attacked a frail pensioner. Who is a pensioner? Is that a beggar?
It was a frail pensioner, he was. I don't know.
Like a street beggar?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I didn't bring my Googling utility today.
I don't know, but he beat the crap out of whoever that was. He was sent to a hostel. What is all these words?
A hostel, I can tell you what that is.
Hostel. Hostel.
Yeah. So a hostel is like a place that you can, it's almost like a hotel, but you like share rooms with people. Like there's multiple beds in the room.
Oh.
It's a European thing. Like it's for people, it's for like single people. Like if I'm just traveling on my own, it helps you save money so you don't need a hotel room to yourself.
Like regular people? Because they call him, he was the only inmate.
I don't know why they called it inmate, but hostels are
like,
where
what?
you stay if you're traveling through Europe and you want to save money. You share quarters with someone. It's in this big building. It's called a hostel. It's like a big hotel, but just like 3-4 beds to a room, and you all sleep in the same room. It's just a place to sleep.
It says they sent him to a hostel in West Yorkshire, where he was the only inmate and under constant supervision by 2 staff members.
Then it must be a different kind of hostel, because
that's why it's like only inmate and supervised by 2 staff. So
that's weird. I don't get it, because that's
Juvie?
normally what it must be, like juvie or some kind of detention facility, because that's not normally what a hostel is.
It's weird. I don't know. He was left alone for a few seconds in the hostel's kitchen. So this place has a kitchen, whatever it was.
Okay.
When he attempted to attack a dog walker. So they just left him alone for a few seconds and he went apeshit.
A dog walker?
Yeah, someone, I guess, was there to walk dogs. Police dogs? I don't know.
See, now it's getting really confusing, because who would be walking dogs at the detention facility unless it was like a hotel where people had some dogs?
Yeah.
I'm lost.
He held a fork.
You said he was in kind of like a protection, right?
Yeah, he stayed under constant supervision by 2 staff members.
No, but you said that they changed his identity.
Yeah, they changed his identity.
So maybe the people watching him were like the secret protection kind of thing.
Oh.
But he was at a hostel, which was like a hotel, which had somebody walking dogs. I don't know. I'm just trying to...
I don't know. I don't know why he's not in jail.
Trying to put the information together, because I'm lost.
His life was originally threatened because he molested a 4-year-old, so I don't know why he's anywhere but jail. I know. That's why I was like, whatever. Case
is over. It's too far gone. I'm lost.
It's weird.
That's it. We canceled this one. Hope you liked it.
That was short.
Like and subscribe.
But he held a fork to her neck and threatened to stab her if she screamed.
The dog walker?
Yes. It was a she. Makes it even weirder, because if it was prison, I doubt they'd put a woman in a male
That's what I'm
prison.
saying. It's not a prison. It's like a hotel.
Female in an all-male prison?
Well, all right. Unless she worked for it.
True, but
because they have female guards at male prisons.
Oh, true. I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
I
She's a dog walker. She's walking dogs.
She was a dog walker.
But she was able to fight him off. So he's not a fighter.
He's a little bitch. He was a little bitch, he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was. But then this will confuse you even more, because it says she called the police.
See?
So if he was out of jail, then the police would have been there.
It's a hostel like I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's a hotel,
like a hotel.
apparently. Why was he in the kitchen?
I don't know. Cooking up something with Dinah? I don't
know. He's in the kitchen. He stabs a dog walker from the kitchen. I don't know. I'm going to have to have a visual representation of this layout, because this is confusing.
Very.
I don't know how the dog walker was in the kitchen and why he's in the kitchen. I'm thinking like behind the doors cooking food for like the breakfast buffet and stuff. And I'm like, why is this dude back there? With forks.
I don't know. I'm lost.
I'm too.
We're still trying to figure out what the hostel is.
We're still trying to figure out
if it's actually a hostel or if it's a prison.
We ain't even got to anybody in trouble. So she called the police and they were able to locate him. He was picked up carrying the fork and a jar of Vaseline. That tells you his plans. The bad part is, did she have a dog with her? I don't know who was the target.
I don't know. Have you ever seen Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler?
Yeah, a long time ago.
So he's telling the teacher things that he would think that he wants to do with her, and he's like, the first involves ice cubes, a putting wedge. Like he just comes up with random shit, and that's what that one reminds me of. A fork, a jar of Vaseline. Like that's what that makes me think of.
And a search of his room led to his journals being found. So he's a writer. However, they were written in a code.
A code?
Yes. But thankfully, he also stored the code key in the same room as the journals.
Dumbass.
So the police found the key, deciphered his journals, and got to read all his business. I mean, memorize your key. You don't have to have none of that shit.
I mean, if you made it up, you'd know how it works. You wouldn't have to really write it down.
Yeah, it's like locking my house and then taping the door key to
So the smartest thing to do for a key is to use a page in a book, like a page and a paragraph. You just got to remember the page and the paragraph and what book it's in, and you'll always have the key.
Oh.
That's the smart way to do it.
There you go. But in one journal entry, he wrote, quote, "I'm a pedophile and I'm the best." Okay. I guess he's entitled
if
to his
you're a
opinions.
pedophile and you know it, clap your hands.
That's like, all right. Jurors were told during the trial that Paul was a risk to females and a risk of hostage taking. So
Okay.
like, this guy's a little risky there. Staff were not allowed to deal with him on a one-to-one basis. They had to deal with him in pairs at least.
Here's the staff again. I don't.
What did he do? In 2009, he was convicted of offenses including assault and assault with the intent to commit rape. There's that Vaseline.
Oh, yeah.
He was sentenced to 4 years with the recommendation that he be jailed indefinitely until he is no longer a danger. So they said he gets at least 4 years, but we're going to keep him until he straightens his shit out.
4 years till infinity.
Yep. And Paul, previously identified as a woman while in prison, named Kiera.
The fuck?
So he's not only a pedophile and the best, but he also sidelines as a woman.
That's different.
That is very different. I wouldn't choose. That's not where I would choose to do that in a male prison.
Yeah.
That's a little risky to me.
I don't. All right. So I'm not questioning trans people, but in his scenario, I almost feel like he did it to get something. Like maybe he thought he was going to be transferred or get into solitaire or something.
Might have. I don't know. Because he has no history of anything like that I know of.
Yeah.
Just popped up. But he does suffer from psychopathy, antisocial personality disorder, and gender identity disorder. So maybe that's where that came in.
Gender identity
disorder.
So that's what they used to call trans people.
Gender identity disorder. Yeah. So maybe he is.
Maybe, but
that's
I don't
weird.
know. Just the fact that he's a pedophile and he's in prison for
trying to rape
people, and then he out of nowhere he's like,
He's
I'm
a threat to women. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm confused by that one.
I am. Obviously some mental things.
Yeah.
But he has previous convictions for violent and sexual offenses in Northern Ireland and included false imprisonment of a female police officer. He even took a female. He's got something for women. He don't like women.
Yeah.
And yet he would.
But yet he wanted.
He wanted to be a woman.
To be a woman.
It's weird.
I'm lost on that.
Yeah, he's got us all confused.
Just to clarify, I mean, I have no problem with trans people whatsoever. No. In fact, fully support them and anybody in LGBTQ. But this, I don't know, this just seems off. It doesn't seem legit.
They don't match up.
Yeah.
Usually, if he wants to be a woman, he wouldn't be showing such violence toward women, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, that's strange.
It is. I don't know. But he also said I'm the best, so maybe it's a competition thing? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
It's hard to know what he's thinking.
I don't know. I'm lost, man.
I am too. But he was imprisoned at HMP Full Sutton in Yorkshire. And that's that building right there.
Okay.
Little brick building. Nothing exciting. Looks like a library to me.
Yeah.
But there is where he met his cellmate, Richard Hinkle. And that's Mr. Richard Hinkle.
Richard. That name sounds familiar.
It should.
Why?
You'll get into it.
Richard Hinkle. That sounds really familiar.
The pair met in the prison's Delta Wing, where sex offenders and inmates who struggled with life on the inside were housed for their protection.
Okay.
So they were in this special wing. Richard is from Ashford, Kent. What is Kent?
Oh, no. It's got to be a UK area, too.
That has to be. He is 33, so he's a little older
Okay.
than Paul. He was a freelance photographer, and you'll like this, a Christian teacher.
Interesting.
Yes. And he is also known as Britain's worst ever pedophile. Yes. So he is a freelance photographer, a Christian teacher, and a pedophile. The fact,
Not surprising.
The worst ever that Britain's seen. So that may be why he sounds familiar.
Oh, no.
Unless his name popped up in something on the news or something.
That name just sounds really familiar.
But he was caught in 2014, and that's picture. I guess he looks happy he was caught. I don't know why he's smiling.
I guess.
I don't know. I was like, well. No, Richard was arrested when he was stopped at Gatwick Airport on his way to spend Christmas with family after Australian authorities tipped off UK's National Crime Agency. So Australia's tipped him off, be like, hey, he's getting on a plane.
He's headed your way.
Yeah. Richard first began abusing children as soon as he reached adulthood. His first victim was a toddler during a gap year in Cambodia.
Ugh.
Yeah. So there you go. As of course, as you know, a Christian teacher, he traveled and did some
Missionary work.
Yes. Which exposed him to a lot of children from
That couldn't speak English.
impoverished
or didn't
areas.
Italian.
Yep. From poor areas. So he traveled to Malaysia, which is in Asia, at 19 years old and returned masquerading as a respectable Christian teacher in order to infiltrate small and impoverished communities.
Sounds about right.
He's bringing the Lord in his hands into these communities. His victims were as young as 6 months old to 12 years old while volunteering in orphanages in Malaysia.
The fuck?
Yeah, so this man's dirt. He was believed to have preyed upon around 191 kids in Malaysia over a 9-year period. And that's why he's Britain's worst, because he has a vast pool of victims there. So his list of offenses were so long that it took almost an hour to read them out at trial.
Wow.
That's how many offenses he caught against children. So he's awful. So awful that he awarded himself, quote, Pedo points for how many depraved acts, or how depraved the acts of abuse were he performed on children. So he gave himself ratings on what he did to different children. Yeah, he was an animal. He amassed a score of 1,305 points based on 15 depraved categories from his Pedo point system. So he had a whole ass scoreboard. He also written a dark web manual to help other sex offenders.
Jeez.
So he even posted a manual for this shit. He posted online on the dark web that it was easier to target impoverished children in Malaysia instead of the ones with wealthy Western backgrounds. So he's like, they're poor, they're out here, they're easy grabbins. Yeah. He sold images of his acts on the dark web. And that is how he made his income, selling this manual, those pictures, all kinds of just videos, stuff. That's how he made his money to travel to do this Christian teaching work.
Wow.
Yeah. And he even bragged about abusing a 3-year-old girl who was, quote, as loyal to me as my dog, and no one seemed to care. So he's just saying these kids, like the parents are poor and out working, so these kids just whatever they want to do. So no one paid any attention to him. Police seized his encrypted laptop and was able to uncover more than 20,000 indecent photos and videos of children.
Holy shit.
Yeah. However, there are some files the police were never able to crack and get into. So he had some that they couldn't get. Richard dreamed of marrying one of his victims. Yeah, this is disgusting. Married one of his victims so that they can become foster parents and provide him with a cycle of children to abuse. So he wanted to marry one of his young female victims to adopt more children to foster so she can help raise kids that he can abuse, I guess, and become foster parents together. But he made bail on the condition that he stayed at his parents' house. And I was like, I wouldn't even want him there. I'd be like, don't you let him out. No. No. While there, he confessed to his mom. And his parents called the police and begged them to take him and even offered to give evidence and testify against him.
There you go.
I would have probably done the same.
Yeah.
I'd been like, come get him, take him, whatever you need. He needs to pay for this. But he was sentenced in 2016. And he was sentenced to 22 life sentences for an unprecedented number of sexual offenses. So they didn't even give it a number against children. So they're just like, we're giving you 22 life sentences.
Good.
Yeah. And both of these guys had some traits in common. They both started offending at an early age, targeted young victims, and kept journals of their disgusting crimes. So they ended up rooming together in this jail. And you know.
Trading stories and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, didn't end very well. 2 other inmates tipped guards off that something was happening in that cell. And it was Paul who had gagged and bound Richard.
Really?
He strangled Richard with an electrical cord and raped him with a kitchen tool before stabbing him with a makeshift knife.
Holy
shit. So
shit.
he went out on this guy. He attacked him. The weapons he used were a toothbrush, a pen, and an electric cable. I don't know how he got all this stuff. But he shoved the pen up into Richard's nose.
Oh.
Until it made a, quote, crunching noise when it broke through into the brain. So he shoved it way up in there. Yeah. And this attack lasted 80 minutes. Penny, quit it.
Penny, no. Don't argue with me. I don't remember where we were.
So this attack lasted 80 minutes.
Jesus.
Just 80 minutes. It took 80 minutes for those other 2 inmates to be like, something's happening in there.
I think they let it happen.
I think they did. I think they're like, okay.
Let's wait until this is getting going for a while.
That guy's not getting up. Let's go get them now. But Paul smashed Richard's head into the concrete floor 6 to 7 times.
Wow.
He stated after killing him that he, quote, felt high as a kite. Police rushed in to find Paul laying on the floor next to Richard's body, whispering into his ear. I don't know what he's whispering. But ended up going to trial at Hull Crown Court. And the prosecutor was Alistair MacDonald, QC. What is QC at the end for? It's some title, I think. And Paul was not on his medication at the time of the murder for these mental issues he had.
Yeah.
He appeared in court via a video link from prison. I guess it's during COVID times, 2020.
Yeah.
So he appeared in court on video, And he was seen laughing, stretching, and even yawning at times.
Huh.
Like he was not interested. At his trial, and the Northern Ireland man said he had been planning the murder for over a week.
Wow.
Yeah, he admitted to having intrusive thoughts about harming other prisoners. And after the killing, prison staff said he appeared emotionless. And they searched the cell, and it turned up 2 more makeshift knives in his area. So he had more knives. And an officer spoke on how he was, quote, aware of intelligence that Paul had a murder bag he would carry around with him to commit assaults. Then why did they let him have it?
Well, yeah, why is he walking around with a bag? And
They're like, yeah, I know he had that bag.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
That guy, he's crazy. He's just walking around with this murder bag.
Why not stop him?
He's like,
I don't know how he got a hold of all
oh,
this
don't
stuff.
mind him. That's just how he is, you know.
It's like they said they put him in this wing for their own protection, but they let him have electrical cord, pins, kitchen tools. Like,
Yeah.
what? But Paul planned on killing 2 to 3 more prisoners, but he took too long having fun with Richard. The judge said the only mitigating features of this case were Paul's mental health issues. They derived from the result of physical and sexual abuse he suffered as a child. Whatever. I don't feel sorry for him. Paul stated that he planned to cook and eat part of Richard and then submit other prisoners to the same fate. So he's going to cook and eat them.
Damn.
And feed them to other prisoners. But he didn't get to because he was having too much fun. He said, quote, I got carried away by how much fun I was having doing what I was doing to him. So this guy's just plain crazy. The judge, Mr. Justice Lavender, said, quote, you are a psychopath and you derive pleasure from fantasizing about raping, torturing, killing, and even eating others. On this occasion, you derived pleasure from acting out your fantasies. You did this for your own pleasure. Yep, and he did. The trial lasted 5 days and 2 hours of deliberation before the jury came back with a verdict.
That's quick.
I mean,
There's
2 men in a cell. I don't know how many other suspects can they pull out of this.
That's quick for a deliberation,
Yeah.
but it feels like it should have been even quicker. They walked off. They're like, you guys
I'm sure
good?
they ordered lunch.
You ready to go back? Okay.
Like, I'm sure they ordered lunch, ate some Taco Bell, and then they came back. I'm like, okay.
All right. Let's get to this case.
We can't make it too obvious. But Paul stated that it was, quote, poetic justice.
Okay. How's it poetic justice? Because, like, he's the same kind of person.
I was going to say, it's the same dude killing the same.
Like, if it was a random prisoner...
Or a victim's father or something.
Yeah, then Then, poetic justice. But you do the same crap he does.
Yeah.
How
It's just a pedophile killing a worse pedophile. I don't understand. It's like... But he was sentenced on November 24th of 2020. And he laughed in court when he was sentenced. Because he was sentenced to 34 years.
He's
He's like, yeah. That's what he said. That's it. Because he laughed. He's like, all right, that was fun. I'll take it.
Wow.
This guy's crazy as hell. But that was it.
Wow.
Yeah, Richard Hinkle's dead and gone. And this guy is laughing in jail. I know.
Crazy.
It is. And I just don't... Blows my mind.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another case
that's
where
a weird one.
a prisoner got a hold of this many weapons to kill another prisoner. I can't think of it.
I don't get.
Usually they can't even have string on their shoes or nothing.
Mm-mm. No, they wear the slippers.
Yeah, they wear the little Crocs and they don't have shoe ties or utensils or pencils or nothing.
Oh, that's weird.
I know, but this guy had makeshift knives and an ink pen and kitchen tool.
Fork, Vaseline.
He probably still had his Vaseline.
A putting wedge.
For the kitchen
some
tool.
ice cubes.
I was like, what? That's insane.
A stuffed bear. No, what was it? A bear, live or stuffed, preferably stuff for safety reasons. That was one of the things that he said
Was it one
in
of the
Happy
things
Gilmore.
that-
Yeah, I think it was a bear. It could have been something else. It was another animal. It was an animal. He said live or stuff, preferably stuff for safety reasons.
For safety. Cocaine bear. Yeah, but I mean, and I, as I say on every case, it's sad, but I don't feel any kind of sadness for this one besides the children.
Yeah, just the children.
These
Two
guys,
fucks
yeah.
can
Whatever.
go at each other all they want.
So I'm not sad about this death, but the children is horrible.
Yeah.
Especially we targeted, the not wealthy children, what do they call it? Impoverished.
Poverty.
Yeah.
Children in poverty.
Children that,
Well, not only in poverty, but ones that couldn't speak English and
probably didn't have a justice system.
and then you
worth a
present
crap
yourself as somebody who's trying to bring
and Christianity.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they weren't. Sick bastard. He knew. And that's why he sold manuals to help other one.
Yeah.
So I don't feel sorry for him at all. Either one
A
of
lot
them.
of pedophiles will hide in that
Profession? That's
that
why I said
profession.
you'll like, because it's common to
priests,
do missionary
preachers,
work.
missionaries, teachers, coaches.
What's that place that builds houses after disasters and
Oh,
stuff?
like Habitat for
Yeah,
Humanity.
those kind of things.
Yeah, wasn't there somebody who did that for where am I hearing this might have been a TV show. After the New Orleans got hit by the disaster,
Yeah, the hurricane.
hurricanes and
Katrina.
all that. Yeah, there was a guy who was traveling through Habitat for Humanity, and these kids were like lost in a flooded area, and he picked them up to help them, and then like he took them with him, and they were
That's insane.
yeah. I think it was Law and Order SVU.
Was it?
I think so.
It might have been.
I'm thinking it was, because I don't think it was like a legit like news case. I
It
saw
wasn't
this. I think
actually
this was a
the
TV show,
storyline.
and I'm wanting to say based on the TV shows I watched a lot, I want to
Law
say
and
it's
Order.
SVU.
Sounds like it could be.
But yeah, man.
It's awful.
Well, I don't have much to say about that other than I'm glad that guy got fucked 3 ways from Sunday.
Right?
But I wish the other guy would have got it too.
I know. The other guy's still laughing and enjoying his 34-year sentence. Just hopefully, they turn that guy back out in the same wing and they're like, all right, we got to get this guy. He's crazy. And so then he gets shanked. I don't know. It's insane how they got that much.
Have you noticed that this is kind of sidetracked, but it still relates to pedophiles? Have you noticed that the people who the people who voice concerns about pedophilia the most, like not in a normal way, like, you can be like, pedophiles suck and watch out for your children and all right. But when you're all those people who are all like, the government is run by pedophiles, Hollywood is full of pedophiles, and they just keep going and going, and they're those conspiracy theory type people. Have you ever noticed those kind of people usually end up being pedophiles?
Oh, I don't pay attention.
It's true. It's weird.
I believe you. I saw.
Well, I was going to say that movie that just came out that everybody's been going crazy about. What was it? I don't know. It's about human trafficking and pedophilia.
Oh,
It's a new movie that came out. It was put out by a Christian organization. I guess Disney didn't. Disney had the rights to it, and they never released it. It was filmed and everything, and they just never released it. And I'm thinking that they didn't think it was going to make money, so they just kind of kept it.
Yeah.
But they sold it to another company who decided to release it, which was a Christian organization. Everybody went apeshit and said Disney didn't release it because Disney's full of pedophiles.
Oh, God.
But this Christian organization released it, and it turns out that the person who produced the movie in this Christian organization
Yeah.
was found to be a child groomer.
What?
So, not surprising.
Yeah.
And then, and then everybody's also saying like theaters are like pretending to have like the air conditioner not work and problems with the movie, so they don't have to play it because Hollywood is run by pedophilia. And
Oh, Lord.
no, even the people who own the rights to the movie, the actual company, has said that those stories are fake. So it's just people pushing shit.
Yeah. I
But-
did hear.
Yeah.
Well, actually, someone on YouTube covered this case, but I can't remember his name or nothing. But there's someone that did volunteer work. It was like a search group that searched for missing people.
Uh-huh.
One of those diving groups. I don't know what it was. But one of the main guys on there was arrested for underage girls. She's like 15 or something. 14, I
happens
don't
a
know.
lot.
Yeah.
It's always
And
people
people
like
goof it
that
about
that are
him.
like, yeah.
And there's this one guy I saw. People were giving him all kinds of crap because he's actually like preaching for it. He's like, back in the old days, my wife could have been 12, or people were getting pregnant at 13. In the Bible, women were married by 14, and it's okay.
Which is another reason why I
like,
think
oh.
you find a lot of pedophiles in churches.
Yeah,
because
he was all for it. He's just
the Bible
posting videos, and I'm
has
like, you were brave,
tons of
buddy. Yeah, I was like, he's just coming out.
he's not lying. Like in the Bible, if you were like 12, you were too old.
Yeah, but he actually listed. There's a term for it. There's some for adults that love children that way. There's some fancy term he used to call himself that. He's encouraging other people to come forward, and they were going to petition this change. And I'm like, this dude is stupid. Like,
That reminds me of the.
I'm going to paste my face out here. So you don't want to marry
have
a
you
child.
heard NAMBLA? Have you ever heard of NAMBLA?
No.
It was an organization, I think, in like the 90s or early 2000s, and they might still be around. But it was an actual organization that tried to say that pedophilia was normal.
Oh.
NAMBLA, National Association, no, National something Man Boy Love Association. Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
it's crazy.
People wear me out.
Yeah,
And I can see why, because even dealing with our kids, I can tell when they're easily manipulated.
yeah,
Even at 12, even the oldest, and kids out there that age, if one parent says one thing and they like full in believe them, and then
yeah.
they're easily convinced one way or the other. So I can see why, they don't want people grooming 12-year-olds because you can talk them into about anything if you try hard enough. They don't have that. They're not old enough yet to.
And that goes
process
back to
things.
my issue, my religious issue is that's why I don't want my kids to learn about that stuff before they're old enough to understand it. I think if you teach a kid religious ideals, it teaches them to believe things
Without question.
without proof or so it causes them to have this mindset where they don't need proof to believe things, which makes them more gullible, makes them easier to manipulate.
Yeah.
Which is why I think so many pedophiles are in the church, because they already have kids that are willing to believe whatever they're told.
Yeah.
So,
It's awful.
yeah.
But there you go. That was that case.
Wow.
I know.
Well, thanks for making me in a happy mood tonight. God.
You're welcome.
Ugh.
I know. It's awful. Because you said, that name sounds familiar. I thought,
It does. It sounded really familiar.
Because this guy had almost like 200 victims. And
I think it's the
worst
last
ever.
name that sounds
Hinkle?
familiar.
Probably. It did to me too at first.
Hinkle.
And then
You know what? I think somebody famous was
Hinkle.
assassinated or attempted, and it was Hinckley. I think that's where I'm getting it.
Oh.
I want to say I don't know, Ronald Reagan or somebody was shot by somebody with the last name Hinckley. I could be wrong on that. I don't have Google in front of me. I forgot my tablet. But
Aw.
it's
I did.
that name sounds very familiar.
It does. And I didn't put it in
Maybe
there
I can do it on
because
the laptop.
I forgot what exactly, but he did study some computer work. I think it was engineering, something like that. So I don't know. Networking. He studied some computer stuff, which is why his laptop was encrypted and they couldn't get everything.
Yeah.
Because he studied some computer IT stuff. So, but he was a freelance photographer and a Christian teacher, making money off of selling photos on the dark web. And you know.
Let's see. John Hinckley Jr. I knew that sounded familiar.
There we go.
It's not Hinkle, it's Hinckley. So that is where
Hinkle.
I'm thinking of it. Let me see. What did he do?
I might. Now that you question me, I don't even think there's
I
an
was
N in there.
right.
I think
Ronald
it's Heckle.
Reagan.
Heckle. I don't know. Ronald Reagan. See.
He tried to kill Ronald Reagan. I knew
Yeah.
that name.
Oh,
See?
different guy.
History.
I didn't do history. I did math.
I remember things like that, but I don't get it. Like,
History.
I don't 100% remember it all. Like, I remember small little pieces of it. But that Hinkle, that name Hinkle, just popped in my head as something, and it was that. It was Hinckley, John Hinckley. Tried to kill Ronald Reagan. There you go.
There you
I
go.
knew I had something on that.
I'm good in history. I didn't do history.
I was always good at history.
I'm not. That's why when you name somebody, I'm like, who is that? And you're like, he was the president. I'm like, I don't know. I know Abe Lincoln, George Washington.
Do you know who J. Edgar Hoover was?
No. Yeah, he's on the FBI building.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember that one.
FBI.
Yeah. Like that one I know. Criminal Minds.
Oh, so it's not because of history.
No, it
It's
wasn't
because you saw it
history.
on a TV show.
Yeah. That's the true crime lover in there.
Anyway, well,
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Your finishing credits.
Like and subscribe.
Let's still text scroll up there.
This podcast has been brought to you by loveandluminol.com. Where you can find us anywhere online. Audio, video, social media. Anywhere. You can find us at loveandluminol.com. Find all the links there.
You know what? Now we might take up audiobook reading. You'd make a good narrator for audiobook.
As he walked into the room
Read some Batman novels.
and he saw the water dripping,
There you go.
he reached for his underwear, which were also moist. Anyway, yeah, loveandluminol.com. You can find our audio, video podcasts, all our social media links. If you just want to search for us on social media, we're on pretty much everywhere except for TikTok. Or no, except for Twitter. I keep saying TikTok. We are on TikTok.
Yes,
that's where
we
we
are.
do most of our stuff.
That's where his
But-
audiobooks would be.
We're everywhere except for Twitter. And at Love and Luminol on all of it. So it's pretty easy to find us.
There you go.
But, yep, like I said, like and subscribe. And that's all I got.
All right.
Any news or anything interesting you want to talk about?
No, that's it.
We're boring today.
We are. I'm still reading. I know I posted forever ago. I started that book. I'm still on that book. I have no time, guys. I'm halfway through the book.
Meanwhile, I've done audiobooks and I've got through almost all the Harry Potter books, which is why she keeps referencing Harry Potter when we were talking about
Yeah,
Britain.
because that's all he listens to.
I
have
just started
to
Deathly
read.
Hallows.
I have to have a physical book.
I like the
I like a
audiobooks.
physical book.
I'm telling you, I can put it on in the car. To and from work, listen to it. If we're on a trip, listen to it. Like lunch break, listen to it. It's so much easier.
I know.
Because then I don't have the time to just sit and read. I can listen while I'm driving.
No, I
and
don't
I
have
use
time
that
either,
time.
but I don't know. I just like
Use
books.
the time while you're driving. You can just
Well,
listen.
you see me. I have a Kindle and I still buy books. And you're like, what in the hell? Is like, I like a physical book. I like pages to turn and the smell of
I
it.
kind of
and-
get that because I can download digital version of comics, but I like to go to the comic book store and
see?
actually get them. I get that. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
I like actual books.
But I like audiobooks because, like I said, I don't got time to sit and read through all of it. I'd rather just somebody read it to me as I'm driving when I have the most time.
Then you're not the one to talk to about reading audiobooks. You don't want to narrate none.
His moist underwear was still in his hand.
There goes that career move.
I could probably still do it. I mean, if I was getting paid for it, then
It's
it's my
some
job. So
incentive.
technically I have time.
Today, TikTok Live, Chapter 1. His
Chapter
moist
1,
underwear.
the moist underwear. All right, well, that's it for me.
Yep.
That's it for you.
That's it.
That's it for us. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
You gotta put this out.
Put it out.